Hello, this is Joanne Hewins from LoveToCreate.typepad.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I'm going to show you how to make this gate card. It has a little belly band that will pull off, and then when you open it up, you have your saying inside. So we're going to talk about how to do this. We're using today two stamp sets. One is the Sailing Home stamp set. This is in the new annual catalog. We'll look at that again in just a minute. The other one is Hold On to Hope. This was one that was in the catalog before, and it was held over, and we're using a saying from that on the inside of the card. So I'll talk to you more about that a little bit later too. Let's pull in our Stampin' Up! Catalog, and I want to show you that this year in the catalog they've listed all of the bundles at the beginning of the catalog. So there's quite a few in here, and we're looking today at the Sailing Home bundle, and it tells us that it's on page 145. This is really a whole suite of things. What I want to point out today is look at the card that they have here, the sample. When you go back to the pages in the catalog where this is, they have all different samples. It's not the same thing. So I think that's pretty interesting that they're trying to give you lots of different samples and ideas of what you can do with a stamp set. So it talks about the suite. Here's something else you may not have noticed. When they have a suite, they have a number here that you can order. Use one number, it orders everything in the suite for you. Right now I'm seeing there are a few things on back order, so it doesn't allow you to do the whole suite. It doesn't really give you much of a discount other than the discount you would already get if you were buying it as a bundle with the stamp set and the dies. And then the stamp set is actually, here's a whole nother page. And look here, they're showing the papers a little bit larger this year. I love that. So here's the stamp set. Let's go ahead and get started on the card that we're going to make today. And let me pull out, we actually made this in class recently. So I'm going to pull out one of the kits. And I don't always cut out all of this stuff for them. I did for part of the people in the class. I probably shouldn't let them know that, but there you go. So we're going to start off with a piece of Night of Navy. I've got the measurements here. It might be a little small for you to see, but let me tell you that I'm going to link under this video my blog post at LoveToCreate.typepad.com, and it will have all of the measurements there. So don't worry so much. This is cut at 4 1/4 by 11. And then I have scored it at 2 3/4 and 8 1/4. When you fold those, and use your bone folder to push that down, that's going to really meet right in the middle, just like a gate. That's why it's called a gate fold. Okay, so there's this. Okay. I'm going to put my belly band and the inside of my card away for a few minutes and talk to you about how we're going to decorate. Sorry, I've got ink on my fingers. How we're going to decorate the outside part of this. So I have two pieces of Balmy Blue, and they are cut at 2 5/8 by 4 1/8. And we'll just add those to the front panels of the card. So one will go here, and then the other will go on the other side. That was just a little bit easier for me to see with those folded out like that. And then we're going to get some paper. This is from the Come Sail Away pack of paper. And that will go down on top of the Balmy Blue. It's cut at 2.5 by 4. So let me add those. Okay, and hopefully this is going to look pretty much like a line going straight across. Okay, so there is the outside part of the card. We're going to go ahead and work on the inside of the card. Let me set this aside. I'm going to pull out the original card and show you that we have the saying, and then some green plant, and then an anchor. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the saying. And remember, I told you that was from the Hold On to Hope stamp set. Now, I did just re-ink my pad, so I hope everything's going to be all right. And remember to put your card stock pointing the right way. I just thought this saying went so well with the anchor and wanted to include it there. And then we're going to add a piece of greenery. You pull some of that from my stash of stuff. This is a garden green that I've cut here, and I'm going to very lightly add some glue to hold that on. Okay. And then we are going to need to make an anchor. I actually have them for this card, but I'm going to go ahead and stamp an anchor on some scrap paper and let you see how that framelit. I didn't talk to you about the framelits. We're using the smooth sailing framelits, and it does have the anchor, and that is and this big leaf that we're using. Both of those we're using from this, and then we're going to also use another set of dies that I'll talk to you about in just a minute. But let me stamp an anchor for you and just show you that this is one of the new dies that Stampin' Up! Has, and when you cut that out, it's actually going to fit exactly around what you stamped. So that's the way that you would send it through. So exactly. Now when you cut it out, it's still going to have a little bit of a border around it, which makes it really look kind of nice. But it's just easier now to get those situated on there just perfectly when you cut them out. So let me put that back over here. Look what a difference it makes to re-ink your pads too. Since I've already got these cut out, I'm going to just use those in the interest of getting this video done as quickly as we can. So let me glue this anchor. On, and again, I'm just going to use just a little bit. And I'm just going to lean that over. And that's going to get the inside of that done quickly. So I'm going to take that away and bring in the other card. And we will add that to the inside. Okay. Now the belly band that I made for this measures 1 1/4 this way by 11. 1 1/4 by 11. And I went ahead and scored that at 2 3/4. And that's going to help me to start the belly band around. And then I'm just going to come around and kind of fold that where I think it needs to be. You want it to have enough space that it can slip on and off. Okay, so you can see that doesn't meet all the way across there, but we're okay, we're fine. Let's talk about what we're going to do with that. I'm going to bring in a piece of Night of Navy that is cut at 2 7/8 by 3 5/8. And this is what I'm going to adhere to the belly band. So what I'm going to do is take some tear and tape, because I do want this to stick on there well, and I'm going to put some on each little corner here, and then I'm going to put a little bit on each corner on the other side. Well, I just pulled tape off of there, so I'm just going to roll that off of my finger, hopefully, and pull off a little bit more. Okay, and then we will pull that off. I was looking for my pick your tool. Okay, so I've got all of those picked up. I'm going to lay my belly band as straight as I can, and then I'm going to add, I think I'm going to pull this off, and I'm going to use my grid paper to help me. I'm going to lay my belly band on there straight, and then I can lay my card down here straight. And I also need to kind of watch and try to get each side about even. Okay. So now I have my belly band. And we'll go ahead and decorate that. Let me pull in the other belly band so we can look at that. Looks like a lot of stuff, doesn't it? I'm going to go ahead and put down a piece of designer paper, again from the Come Sail Away pack. This one's cut at 2 3/4 by 3 1/2. So that's going to go in the center of this Night of Navy piece. Okay, and I told you I used another set of dies, and that is the Under the Sea dies. These were carried over from last year, and we used this piece. I've got some garden green in that, and then we also use this tiny piece here. I've got some of the soft sea foam. So those are the other colors besides our navy, is the soft sea foam and garden green. So I'm going to put these out of the way. I've already cut out several things for us to use. So I've got more plants and more of the other big things. So, and I have my saying. So this saying is from these Sailing Home stamp set, and let hope be your anchor through the storms of life. I've already stamped that. I've already cut it out, and this is the die that I used from the Smooth Sailing dies. So that's where I got that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this on with some dimensionals. I'm going to kind of keep my dimensionals to the center of that, and I'm going to add my plants around that. So I'm going to just put this over here a little bit to the side and down. And then for this plant, I actually took it and cut it in half. And I put part of that, a little bit of glue, part of that sticking out down here, and the other part I put up at the top. Coming out up here. So it appears to be a tall plant that's grown all the way through there. And then for the other plants, I think I'm going to put a glue dot on this one and just slide it under and let it stick out there. And then I'm going to do the same for the one that's down near the bottom. I'm just going to add a glue dot to that. That way it can be a little free. We want to, you just have to be careful. All right, then let's add this other, these other plants. So I'm going to add the soft sea foam first and just hit some highlights here to get that to glue. And then I'm going to do the same with the green. And I'm going to add a little bit more here. So I'm going to lean this one over a little and let it go on top of that sign there. And then we want to add this anchor. We're going to add it with dimensionals. So I've got a couple here that I've cut in half, and we'll just use those. Could have used the mini dimensionals. And then this is going to just lean this way. Now one more thing we're going to do, we're going to be using this twine that's part of the suite. It's the Night of Navy Sahara Sand twine. I've got two small little pieces, and I'm just going to tie those into a knot like that. And I'm not going to cut it or pull it very tight. And I'm going to trim my ends a little. And then I'm going to take your pick tool and just kind of pull out. I'm going to hold that center down and pull out some of these strands with that. And then we're just going to put that on our glue dots right down, and then we're going to glue that over here. So there's the front of it. So we would just take this, hopefully we're going to get this to fit down over our card. And there's the finished product. So the people in my classes loved this card this time. They said it might be one of the most favorites that they've ever made. So that's why I wanted to share it with you today. Thank you so much. Remember, everything is linked to the Love to Create blog. Underneath this video, you'll have that link to my blog. You'll also have a link to my online store. You maybe need some supplies to make this card, and I would love to have you order those from me. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye-bye.